Alright, what is up everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. The Pacers, led by Tyrese Haliburton's insane performance, win Game 4. They're up 3-1 and are 1 win away from going to the NBA Finals. We're going to talk all about it here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications to also like that. I really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and closer as the days go on. So I'll support our channel. Very much appreciated. Link to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't want to say any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So Indiana comes out led by Tyrese Haliburton. They win Game 4, 130-121. They're up 3-1. They're a win away from going to the NBA Finals. This started off as a very hot game. Both teams shooting the ball crazy to start this. It was the battle of the guards. Haliburton and Brunson, the two stars, come out and they set the tone early, which I really liked. Then Brunson had 15 or 13 or 15 in the first quarter. Haliburton also had like 15 in the first quarter, hitting threes. He was rebounding the ball. He was playmaking. He was doing it all. And for Knicks, it was Brunson really getting his buckets. It was a lot of Knicks turnovers. Knicks turnovers are a big issue for this entire game, but early on as well. The Pacers also shot the ball really well. I mean, they were hot to start the game. It was Pascal. Aaron Nesmith got off to a really good start in this game as well. Mathurin came in and gave you some good moments, and the Pacers kind of were in control of this game, especially in the first half. For the Knicks, it was really just Brunson and Cat kind of doing everything offensively. Cat was, getting to the free throw line. He was trying, giving him the ball. And no one else for the Knicks could really step up. I mean, you got a couple shots here, like Deuce McBride hit a three-pointer. Delon Wright hit a three. But besides that, it was really just Brunson and Townsend. OG had 12, even though he didn't really feel like it was a really quiet time. Like at the end of the first half, he was at the free throw line. They said he has 12 points. I was like, OG has 12 points in this game? It did not feel like that at all. But it was really Brunson and Townsend. For the Pacers, everybody was kind of getting involved. Haliburton was doing his thing. And also Pacers forcing turnovers. Turnovers are a big thing for the Knicks. A lot of turnovers for the Knicks. That will lead to easy points in transition for the Pacers. And I feel like for the first two quarters, both first and second quarter, the Pacers closed out the quarter better than the Knicks. Pacers hit some shots and got some stops, and were in control of the game basically for the entirety of it. Gets to the third quarter, the Pacers have a really good start to the third quarter. The Knicks once again turn the ball over. Lackadaisical passes, some really bad shots from the Knicks, and the Pacers came out running early in the third quarter. It looked like the Pacers could about to run away with this game. But the one thing for Indiana was the foul trouble, especially about mid to late third quarter, where they got into the bonus. Jalen Brunson started to be aggressive again, got to the free throw line. Pacers were just giving up free throws. I feel like they're also settling for a lot of not great shots. They're settling for a lot of jump shots. I feel like in the third quarter, Haliburton was really, really aggressive. I feel like there's a lot of questionable shots for Indiana. For the Knicks, they were just right there. Even though the Knicks, I felt like I tweeted this about near the end of the third quarter. Like, it felt like Indiana should have been up like 17, 18. I felt like Indiana was just dominating this game. They were forcing turnovers. They were winning basically every battle, it felt like. But it was only still like an 8-7 point game because New York was staying in it because of the fouls. Getting in the free throw line. And, Brunson and Towns are really kind of, backpacking this team offensively. And then we get to the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter is very sloppy for both teams. Especially the first half of the fourth quarter was like, what am I watching right now? A lot of bad fouls, bad shot selection, bad turnovers, a lot of just shots. I'm like, why is that the shot? Like, what? Like, why would you make that play? What do you got? Like, there's a lot of just like, what is going on in this early fourth quarter? A lot of foul calls. It was really weird the start of the fourth quarter. But the second half of the fourth quarter, the end of the fourth quarter, the Knicks had a little bit of a run. Mikal Bridges finally started to shoot the ball. He had a couple threes late in this fourth. OG hit that crazy step back, at the end of the shot clock three. But then Indiana started to really take control back of the game. Haliburton, again, Pascal Siakam, I feel like, was a big part of kind of closing this game out. And, New York just couldn't really get shots to go, and betting Mathurin as well. And the Pacers ended up getting this W. Looking at some of the stats in this game, Indiana shoots over 50% from the field. They shoot 40% from three. The Knicks shoot 42%. The Knicks shoot 42% from three. They hit 12 of them, even though Indiana hit 13. And the Knicks won the free throw battle. The Knicks took 7 more free throws and made 5 more free throws. So they were 33 for 39. They had, OG and Cap both had 9 free throws attempted. Brunson had 12 free throw attempts. They did have some misses. OG missed 2 free throws in the fourth quarter that were big. The Knicks won the rebounding battle. They dominated the offensive rebounding battle, 13 to 5. But Indiana, of course, won the assist battle and the turnovers. Knicks, 17 turnovers for the Knicks in this game. Josh Hart had 5 turnovers off the bench. Brunson had 3, McHale with 3, OG and Cat both had 2. Just not being able to take care of the ball. The Pacers getting out in transition. Look at the other stats. Points in the paint. Indiana wins that battle 50-44. Fast break points. 22 fast break points for Indiana, 9 for the Knicks. Bench points. Indiana, 36 bench points. New York, 21. Points off turnovers. Indiana, 20 points off turnovers. New York, only 9. That was a big factor in this game, was the turnovers and the Pacers being able to get easy shots. And then Tyrese Haliburton. I think he's probably the title of this video. Like, Haliburton leads the Pacers, but I mean, he was just from the jump. He was on it. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 0 turnovers. Just a masterful game. And they say he's the first player to have a 30, 10, 15, 0 turnover game in a like a lot of stats. You're gonna see a lot of stats like that. He's like the third player ever besides, I think they say he's a third player besides Oscar Robertson and Jokic to have a 30, 10, 15 playoff game. Like, just an insane performance from the jump. And it wasn't only his playmaking, which we saw. He had that last one where he bounced past the top and wide open top of the key 3. He made so many great plays. It wasn't just his rebounding, that was really on its own, which they really needed, because no one else in Indiana had more than 5 rebounds. So his rebounding was really big. It wasn't just, that. It wasn't just the 4 steals he had. It was the aggressiveness. I feel like for the entirety of this game, there wasn't a point where he stopped taking shots. From the jump to the end of the game, he was taking shots. Whether it was a 3-pointer, whether it was a pull-up mid-range, whether he was trying to get to the basket, he was shooting. And I said it multiple times, and it's very true. Like, it's just factual. An aggressive Tyrese Haliburton changes the entire Pacers team. When Haliburton is out here shooting the ball and looking to score and putting pressure on the team's defense in terms of putting the ball in the cup, that just changed everything, because now it opens up so much for Indiana. And he was that tonight. And this might be the best Tyrese Haliburton performance I've seen. Like, he literally, again, from the jump, he was just so aggressive, taking shots. Even some shots I didn't really like. A lot of shots I were just like pull up mid ranges for whatever. But just the fact that he was taking those shots and he was living with those shots and in the moment, was great. And then again, 0 turnovers for 15 assists. With how much he controls the ball, 0 turnovers is just nuts. Like, I know he's had games like that before where he has 0 turnovers, but man, it's just so nuts. With how much, especially in a game now where there's a lot of ball dominant guys like Luka, James Harden, Trae Young. They have a lot of turnovers, but you kind of give them slight passes sometimes because like they have the ball for like 90% of the game, so turnovers are just gonna happen. For Tyrese to be similar in that regard to him having the ball and having to control the offense, and having the ball on 90% of the possessions, to have 0 turnovers, it's just like dang near mind blowing that happens. And then you get 30 for Pascal. Didn't know he had 30. I know he had a solid game, but I was like, dang, Pascal's got 30. But he was good. Aaron Nesmith, 16 points, 2 threes, a plus 20. Going out there with that ankle injury, he looked fine, for 1. And 2, just the energy he had out there, was great. And then you get Betting Mathurin, who has been really not a factor at all in this series. Came in and gives you 20 points in 12 minutes. And also got to the free throw line, hit 10 free throws. To be able to have that production off the bench where, Nembhard didn't have a great game. Miles Turner was all right. The other bench guys like Ben Shepherd, T.J. McConnell didn't really do much. To get that type of production from Benedict Mathurin, who, you never know who's going to go off for Indiana tonight. Was Benedict Mathurin. Just getting that production was great. And then again, Indiana, their defense, forcing turnovers, and when they were able to control the pace and be able to run, like that was where they had at their best. They didn't play great all game. There's a lot of stretches, especially in that fourth quarter, where, them giving up so many free throws and so many fouls. They gave up almost 40 free throws in this game, and that really changed. It was similar to what happened in Game 3, where the fourth quarter, they just kind of, they lost their offensive rhythm, didn't have a lot of pace, and just didn't look like the pace we knew them to be. And in this game, I thought it was going to go down a very similar road. I was like, here we go again, where they're giving up fouls. They can't play at their own pace because they're giving up so many free throws that's allowing the Knicks to get out. You can't run off of free throws. You can't, have pace like that when you're giving up free throw after free throw after free throw after free throw. In the fourth quarter, they had to get into a lot of half-court offense, and there was a lot of just like Nembhard had to take a step back mid-range, or Tyrese Haliburton had to take a step back contested shot, at the end of the shot clock. But they were able to, live through it, survive through it, and be able to win this game. And yeah, Indiana's just looking great. I mean, they're getting so much production from everybody. The offense has been great, but the defense has been really impressive. And them being able to go out and be a team that can force loud turnovers and be a team that, is good defensively and gets the stops when you need to get the stops has been great. For the Knicks end, Brunson gives you 31, got to the free throw line a lot. Didn't have an amazing game, Brunson. We could acknowledge I didn't have an amazing game. Um, a lot of times we kind of got passive at some points late in the fourth quarter. Didn't really take as many shots as I would like him to take. But that also again credit to the Pacers defense. Aaron Nesmith was just, you know, bumping all night with him. And anytime it was not Nesmith, he was getting to the free throw line. So Nesmith did a good job. Towns tried. He had 24 and 12. But the others, you could look at the stat sheet and see some of the guys had, if you didn't watch the game, you just look at the numbers. You would think some of these guys had like decent games, like OG, McHale, and them. Watching on the court though, they those guys did not have really productive. OG Anunoby, I give him, he tried at least 22. Only won 1 for 7 from 3, and that 1 3 he made was literally like a prayer. At the end of the shot clock, stepped back, just threw it up, and it went in. At least he got to the free throw line. At least he got to the free throw line a lot. He did have a lot of times I was like, dang, OG, they kind of need you right now. Like, there's a lot of times, especially I think early in the fourth quarter, he tried to like take over. He took a couple shots, and it was like, okay, OG, it's not working. McHale, not a great night. He finished with 17. He tried. He had a couple threes in the fourth quarter to try to make it a little interesting. And then I don't even know. Like he didn't really start taking shots until like the end of the game, until the time where you needed Brunson. Like there's 3 possessions where he took fadeaway, like baseline mid range / 3-point shots, and it's like that's really the shot. That's the shot you're gonna take when you had a whole 3 quarters of passing up shots, and now in the fourth quarter with the last 3 minutes when they need it, now you're gonna start taking these wild fadeaway shots. So many times I'm like, McHale has not been great this series, especially on the offensive end. There's been a lot of times where it's like, man, McHale, like, he just doesn't really like. He settles so much for that fadeaway mid range jumper, and he hits those shots. It's kind of like his signature shot at this point. That pull up mid range free throw line jumper, it goes in. But there's a lot of times, especially in this series, especially where you're like, that's the shot you kind of are living with. Like you're probably seeing it, that one where it's a fast break and it's him and Aaron Nesmith, and instead of going for a layup, going at the bucket, he stopped and took a fadeaway jump shot from like 7 feet out and he missed. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like it just doesn't have the aggressiveness offensively. That's really what it is. He has no aggressiveness offensively. It feels like there's so many times, especially in the fourth quarter, where he felt like he could have maybe tried a little bit, but then he's just like, you know what? Here, I'm either kicking it out to Brunson or I'm taking a fadeaway jump shot. That's the only 2 options to fill in for Mikal Bridges on offense. It's either I'm passing the ball to Brunson and letting them work, or I'm going to shoot a fadeaway jumper from 13 feet out. Like, I feel like that's the only offensive options for Mikal Bridges right now, and they really need something. Josh Hart, he had 11 rebounds in this game. He had 4 offensive rebounds. But besides that, I don't think Josh Hart did a positive thing on the court. Like, he had 5 turnovers in this game. A lot of I think he had like 4 turnovers in the first half that were all the same. Where it was like just trying to thread the needle or trying to make a pass that just wasn't there and wasn't needed. And then there's a lot of times on defense where he got, there was one time where the Pacers were at half court struggling and looked like the Knicks were going to turnover, and then I forgot, I think it might have been TJ McConnell or Ben Shepherd. Somebody cut to the rim and caught Josh Hart lacking and got an easy layup. There's another play where they were driving on the other end, and Josh Hart came in just to be there. He didn't even guard anybody and left a Nembhard wide. I think that was Nembhard's only shot of the night. It was a wide open wing 3 early in the third quarter, and it was like, man, he rebounded. You could say that, and he got to the free throw line a little bit. But besides that, I don't think Josh Hart didn't do much, and he didn't have that same. If you could see, he didn't have the same intensity. There was a lot of times where he just kind of looked like he was out there and just was like, okay, I'm just out here. Like there wasn't any like, that. He's supposed to be the heart and soul of the team, and it didn't feel like that. It has not felt like that in this series. And then the bench can't really provide me. Deuce McBride only played 14 minutes. He was a negative 14. DeLon Wright played 9 minutes. He had a 3-pointer. That's kind of all he did. Landry Shamet came into the game. He had a 3-pointer late, and he also had a play where he tried to go one-on-one. That was random. I don't know what that was about. Mitchell Robinson only played 18 minutes in this game because while he was rebounding, he was also not doing much else. He was a negative 20 in the 18 minutes he played. Just the Knicks. It's honestly very like surprising that they only lost by 9 and they were in this game. They were in this game. Like they never got down more than like 12, 13. Like they were in this game. And that's honestly really impressive because I feel like what I watched, if you just took the scoreboard away and I just watched the game, it felt like the Knicks should have lost by like 17, 18 points because there was just not a lot of effort. There was not a lot of guys out there doing what they're supposed to be doing. Guys like OG, McHale, Josh Hart, just letting like those guys that they've been able to rely on as the entire postseason run. It just feel like they're not there right now. You know, the offensive aggression, a lot of these guys are just not there right now. The defense has been very up and down, up and down, up and down, you know? Like Carly Towns, you want him to be out there. You want Carly Towns, and he's been solid the last few games. But you also know his defensive lapses. He has fouls where it's like, why? He had 4 fouls this game. Honestly, probably all 4 of them were kind of fouls that I was like, you didn't really need to do that. Those type of fouls. And then you also, again, your bench. Now you're trusting your bench in game 103 or whatever. Like now you're trusting your bench when these guys haven't really played all season. So I can't really be mad when DeLon Wright comes in and plays 9 minutes and hits a 3. I mean, he was a plus 11. You know, I can't be mad when Precious Chua comes in for 2 minutes and doesn't do anything. I can't be mad because it's like these guys aren't even supposed to really be playing right now. But you kind of have to at this point. And the Knicks just look, fatigue is feel like it's setting in a little bit too. Jalen Brunson has looked tired a lot on the court. Calorie Towns had a lot of times where he looked tired on the court. Just a lot of just a lot of weird basketball going on for the Knicks. A lot of weird plays. I'm just like, why? Why is this? Why is this what we're doing? Why is Mikal Bridges? Why is Mikal Bridges taking fadeaway baseline jump shots with 2 minutes left in the game? Why? Why is this the play we're drawing up? Why is Josh Hart not getting the ball and going when that's one of his best attributes is getting out in transition? Josh Hart did it. The first play of the game he came in and Josh Hart did that. He got the rebound, pushed it up, and found I think OG or McHale for a layup. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, here comes Josh Hart. I think that's the only thing he did positive on the offensive end. The entire game was the first play where he came in, got the rebound, and gone, and got it, and found his teammate for a layup. I think that's the only positive thing I've seen him do on the offensive end. Everything else was just turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover, after just like what I don't know. He was walking the ball up the court, which I understand the Knicks wanted to control the pace, you know, but Josh Hart felt like one of his best attributes is being able to get the ball and go and get in transition. He's one of the better transition players in the league, and he just didn't do that at all. And when he's not providing you that, it's like, why are we even playing him? But then again, we kind of have to play him because Mitchell Robinson's getting burnt on defense all the time because Tyrese Haliburton is walking by him. And it doesn't help that Karl-Anthony Towns is the backbone of the defense. Karl-Anthony Towns is the backbone of a defense. We see how that gone in his career. He doesn't do that. And then we have OG and McHale combining to shoot, I don't know, they combined to shoot 13 for 31 in this game. They're combined negative 14. They combined for 9 turnovers. They combined for more turnovers than 3-pointers made. That's not anything that should happen at all. Those guys shouldn't even have the ball enough to turn the ball over that many times. Especially McHale. OG had 2. McHale having 4 turnovers. I'm sorry, he had 3 turnovers. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong number. They had 9 fouls together. They combined for 5 turnovers. I'm sorry. But then again, they have the same amount of 3-pointers made as turnovers. That still shouldn't happen. That still should not happen. Like, I don't know how that happens. Just weird. Just not great for the Knicks at all. For the Pacers, they're doing their thing, man. I mean, they're deservedly 1 win away from the finals. They've been doing it all run. People are gonna say it's a, fake. What the Pacers are a really, really good basketball team, and they're showing that in this series. Tyrese Haliburton is a superstar. People that call him overrated, but Tyrese Haliburton is a superstar. He's showing it in this playoff run, in this series. Watch this game and tell me Tyrese Haliburton is not one of the best players in the league. I don't know. The way this team has been able to come up and just be able to win in so many different ways. The way they get different guys to buy in. The way they play. I mean, they full court press. This is like an AAU team. They full court press. I haven't seen full court presses like this since I was playing in middle school. Like, they're full court pressing for 48 minutes. They're literally off of made layups. They're running and gunning and getting easy layups themselves. Like the way this team plays, like is just mind blowing, and it works. Especially this is like the way they play is dang near like the opposite of what playoff basketball kind of is, where it's supposed to be calm and kind of slow down, half court type of, every little possession. No, they just say, we're running and gunning. We're running, gunning up the court. We're getting easy shots. We're playing fast. We're getting the rebound and going. We're going off miss, make layups. It doesn't matter. We're going. And we're playing 10 guys. We're playing 10. They can comfortably play 10 guys in a playoff game. In an Eastern Conference Finals game, they play 10 guys 10 plus minutes. Who's the last team that has been able to go on a run like this that has been able to do that? Usually at this point, it's a 7-man rotation, maybe 8 if it's foul trouble. The top 6, 7 guys we really, really trust, and that's just what we're living and die with. No, Tony Bradley has not played a single, I think, important minute in this season for the Indiana Pacers. And he just got thrown into the fire in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals and has been able to play ever since. And he's not doing anything crazy. I mean, today he had 3 points and a rebound, but he was a plus 10 in the 10 minutes he played. So when he was on the court, the Pacers were a plus in every single minute he was on the court. Because he just goes out there and does what he has to do and gets out. That's all. Like, this team is so insane to watch. And it's insane to think that the Pacers are going to be in the NBA Finals potentially if they win one more game. But then you see what they're doing, you're like, yeah, they're supposed to be here. The way they're playing, they're supposed to be here. So yeah, Indiana's doing their thing right now. Really good win from them, and now again they're 1 win away. So by the end of Thursday, by the end of the week, by Friday, we could have our NBA Finals matchup. That's really insane, man. We're closing in on this NBA season, but we still got a lot more basketball to play. And yeah, we'll see how this series ends out. But yeah, it's gonna be a today. Hope you guys enjoy it. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. Really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Once again, around the road to 1,000 subscribers, so support on our channel. We very much appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.